Magic fans, I'm Beef and welcome back to another Historic Brawl gameplay video, and today we are going into Final Fantasy Through the Ages. So for those who don't know, in the Final Fantasy set they released a lot of cards in the Through the Ages bit, and that was basically old Magic cards that have been reprinted with a Magic character or Magic theme basically. So we've got Terra Branford, who's the Final Fantasy character from Final Fantasy VI, who is a reprint of Urza, Lord High Artificer, one of the more powerful commanders there is. Obviously Urza is a major player in the history of Magic, and this is the first time we've seen Urza on, the first time we've seen Urza, Lord High Artificer on Arena. So who is he? It's a 4 mana 1/4, and it says when Terra enters, we create a 0/0 colorless contract artifact creature token with this token gets +1/+1 for each artifact we control. So the same token we get from Simulacrum Synthesizer, which we do have in the deck. And then we can tap an untapped artifact we control to add blue. And because that's on Terra, it doesn't give it to artifacts. It doesn't matter if the artifact has summoning sickness. So straight away, when we get Terra down and we create that construct, we can tap that construct for blue if we need to cast more spells, hold up mana for a counter spell. And then we can pay 5 generic, shuffle our library, exile the top card, till the end of turn we may play that card without paying its mana cost. Now when I first started playing this deck, I was like, oh, let's do it on opponent's turn, but realised obviously timing rules still apply. So yes, we want to use this on our turn. Yes, if we hit a land we can play it, but we're obviously going to do that once a turn. But we are generally going to have quite a lot of mana from all the artifacts lying around, and Terra's other ability to activate this quite a few times. So the deck is, as you can imagine, mostly artifacts. We have 38 of them. Some of those are creatures, and I'm not going to go through them one by one, but there are some artifacts you might go, why are these in? Things like a Corda Shield and Bonesaw. They're, well, crap, and we're probably not going to equip them unless we have loads of extra mana, but they're free. Same with Mishra's Bauble, which gets a lot of play anyway. Crow Mox, Mox Amber, and Mox Jasper. We have no dragon, so we're not worried about playing this for mana. But obviously, because of Terra, it is a mana rock, and it increases our artifact count. So to increase the construct by power and toughness by a lot, and to give us extra mana for Terra's ability. Then we have things like the various spell bombs, which you can draw cards with. Moonsnare Prototype. Iniga Jewel is really good because it taps to 2 colorless, and we can use it to tap to cast Terra's ability, or we can tap it for blue, obviously. Reality Chip is great if we attach it to Terra, then we can just rip through our deck. Then, I don't know what mana drains in there. And then we have some ramp. Howling Mine is really interesting. Howling Mine's originally, I think, from Alpha, and it was what was called a mono artifact. And by definition, a mono artifact wouldn't work if it was tapped. So originally, it just had the text box of beginning of each player's upkeep, that player draws an additional card. Now they have, because they got rid of mono artifact decades ago, they've added in the if it's untapped. So what's good about Terra is we can play Howling Mine at the end of our turn, just tap it for mana. So it's tapped on our opponent's turn, so we don't get the extra draw step. Then on our turn, we do get an extra draw. So that's really, really powerful. Sapphire Medallion reduces the cost of a lot of our cards, and then we can tap it for mana. Simulacrum Synthesizer and Repurposing Bay. Inspiring Statuary gives all our non-artifact spells improvised, which means we can tap an artifact to help pay for 1. Phyrexian Metamorph, we can just copy any creature or artifact we want, maybe a construct token. Then Paradox Engine's really good because of Terra's ability, because it does, we play that card, which counts as casting if it's not a land. Basically, as long as we don't hit a land, or we don't hit more than 1 land, we can just untap everything with Terra. Tap everything, Terra, activate ability, cast a spell, untap everything, Paradox Engine, and just go on and carry on. Immortal Sun as well, it's an artifact. We don't have any Planeswalkers. 6 mana is not a lot. And then things like Thought Monitor, Valkyrie Air Unit, we can just play for pretty much 1 or 2 mana, and Mirror Enforcer play for free. Next up, we just have some artifact synergy. So Emery's really powerful. Affinity for artifacts, it's only 3 mana though, but we can tap it, choose target artifact card in our graveyard, and we can cast that card this turn. So things like Aether Spellbomb, Surgical Spellbomb, and even Mindstone, which allows us to pay mana and sack it. We can sack it, draw a card, then cast it again with Emery. Fabricate just lets us find any artifact card. Transit Mage lets any artifact manually value 4 or 5, which Paradox Engine is. Forecast, Affinity for artifacts, draw 2. Reverse Engineer, Improvise, draw 3, so we can pay tap our artifacts to pay for it. Reality Highest Affinity artifacts. Look at the top 7 of our library, put 2 artifact cards among into our hand. Then Warrior of Invention, improvise, but 3 blue and an X. Search our artifact, search for an artifact card, may value X or less, put on the battlefield. So being able to get our Paradox Engine is not particularly difficult for this as well. And next up, we're in blue, so we have lots of counter spells. Pact of Negation, Spell Pierce, the 2 birds, Wash Away, Dry Destruction, Counter Spell, Mana Drain, Destruction Protocol. We have to pay an additional 1 or tap an untapped artifact we control. We have a lot of untapped artifacts. Metallic Rebuke, we can improvise as well. Mystical Dispute, Thinking the Stupor, not necessarily a counter spell. And then To the Crystal Tower, is a command, so we choose 2, one of which is counter target spell. And next up, everything else, some interaction with Cyclonic Rift and River's Rebuke, 2 extra turn spells, Temporal Manipulation and Time Warp, Brainstorm, Dramatic Reversal, untaps all non-land permanents we control, so this lets us get a big bump of mana by tapping everything for mana with Terra, casting Dramatic Reversal, and then untapping everything. So if we want to activate Terra's ability a few times before we have Paradox Engine. Ishtola Rules, another new card. Begin of our end step, exile target creature we control, then return to the battlefield under its owner's control. Then it's the first end step of a turn, and there's an additional end step. So basically, we put Terra back into the battlefield twice, so we get 2 extra construct tokens. So one of the only weaknesses with Terra is that if that construct's removed, there's no way to get it back apart from flickering Terra or Terra dying. And then Hullbreaker Horror is one of the finishers, and Null Drifter as well. Getting to 7 mana is not particularly tough. Mana base, we are quite mana low. So 33 plus 2 MDFCs, but 23 islands, Mistrise Village to cause things to be uncounterable. Otawara for bounce. Sea of Synod is an artifact land, and it is untapped. Same with Treasure Vault is an artifact land. Urza's Cave, we can just find a basic land drop, but it does tap for colourless. And while we have a lot of colourless spells, having Nykthos produce positive mana is not particularly hard either. Inventor's Fair, we can sack it to search for an artifact card, and for Mori Vault's really, really good. We can pay 3, discard a card, look at the top X cards of our library, where X are the number of artifacts we control. Looking at 5, 7, 10 is not particularly hard. And Bannerman Garden, you're probably going to play in every ball deck now, and Cavern of Souls to make our command uncounterable. So this is a nasty deck. It's mono blue, so it's control-y, but then we can just get out some big constructs and potentially go semi-infinite with Paradox Engine. It does cause our opponents to salty rope a few times, which as regular viewers of the channel will know how much I hate that. So just watch out for it. It is quite nasty. So really fun deck though. Really, really controlling. Hope you enjoy it. If you do, please remember to like and subscribe. I'd like to give a shout out to my patrons. They are Arcadius, Thomas, Mihal and Adrian. Please remember to share it. Please leave a comment down below about what you liked, what you didn't like, what you'd like to see me do more, and what other cards you would like to see me craft decks around. But in the meantime, I'll see you all in the gameplay. We go first. The first time we've seen Emery as well. And Mindstone plus Emery is pretty good, because we can sack the Mindstone to draw and get it back with Emery. And Dramatic Reversal can obviously untap all our artifacts, giving us more mana with Terra. And Reality Chip can help us rip through our deck. They did mulligan. Next turn we're Reality Chip and Emery. It's her Doomscar, do we think? In that case, let's play out the Inspiring Sanctuary. And an Emery. Did pitch Immortal Sun. If that is a Doomscar, they only have... okay, no, they do have the 2 white. And there is Sithis. Let's play out the Enigma Jewel. Let's sack this. And recast it. I was not going to play out Terra just because if that is a Doomscar, there's no real point playing out our commander into it. But if it's not, we can play Terra. Ooh. We play Terra, and I think we can get back the Immortal Sun pretty easily. Cast things properly. So we tap that, tap that, tap that, tap that, tap that. Dramatic reversal. And then we can get back the Immortal Sun. And 1, 2, 3, we can even activate Terra. Find a Transit Mage. Find our Paradox Engine. Now, I do think they have a Doomscar. I can't think what other card it would be that they foretell in white-green. But if it's not a Doomscar, even if it's Doomscar, they might just be in trouble. Because we can replay Terra just with our lands, play out the Paradox Engine with 4, play out the Yellow Chip with the other one, which untaps everything because of the Paradox Engine, and then we should just be able to activate Terra over and over again. But maybe that's what our opponent has realised. I think it might be. I mean, they have literally all the mana in the world. They have 10 mana. And obviously the Paradox Engine, Terra's ability can whiff, because obviously you can only play 1 land a turn. It's always funny, like, Sithis is not a horrible command to play against, but it's one it can snowball so much because everything in your deck's just going to be enchantment, so you draw a card to gain 1 life. So it's always funny when you see someone like that scoop. Well, rage rope. Well, let's tap everything. I realised I should have actually tapped the Enigma Jewel for its. And now we have infinite mana. And I know they're not there, but I want to see this. So we'll basically do this until, well, we run out of time or opponent gets priority. Well, we can sack that to draw Ishtola Rule. I suppose we could have also attached the reality chip. We are running out of time. Let's just attach this and go for our library. We haven't played a land for turn yet. Well, let's just slam in for now. Yeah, our opponent's completely gone. We do create a couple more tokens. And we have a counter spell. In case they decide to come back and do something. But I don't think they are. That is the power of artifacts. Yeah, and Ishtola Rule and Reactor is a bit of a nombo because it does obviously unattach when we flick a Terra, but being able to get a couple more massive 12/12s. And we didn't even recast a Mind Stone from our graveyard with Emery. We've not got much we can craft with the Enigma Jewel because things like, I think if obviously the activated ability has a tap in it, you can only do it once. So yeah, but it was a shame our opponent rage quit or rage roped, but that did show the power of Paradox Engine and Terra / Urza. Catch Mice is a tough one, but we have a counterspell. And some card draw with Thoughtcast. Hello, there we go. So we'll Bonesaw, and then we'll get the Enigma Jewel down. And next turn, we kind of need to hold up. We can play the Ether Spell Bomb, but we need to hold up Wash Away. No white mana yet. Still no white mana. I would love another land. And prayers are answered. There it is. And Moxander. Come on, play Ketramos. Alright, well, we can Terra. And then let us Thoughtcast. Play a land drop. And then 1, 2, 3. So we have 2 blue left. So we can Disruption Protocol and Wash Away. I think we can even full cast Wash Away because of the cost reduction from Sapphire Medallion. What does our opponent do? We could even replay Terra if they do remove it, because it would have Improvise. It only costs us 5 to play as well. So we've got 4 lands and just have 1 artifact. They thought about it. They thought about it. Well, let's brainstorm. We'll put that and that back. Let's do the Chromatic Sphere first. Oh, this shuffles first, doesn't it? Yeah, that's kind of irritating, but... Blue. Let's hit him for 8. And we'll just hold up Disruption Protocol. Yep. Well, let us Null Drifter and draw a couple. And let's Surgical Skull Bomb. And wallop in for 10. Oh, let's do that. Blue. We can't hold Obstruct Serenade then. Well, I'm not that fussed about it. Hooray, a land. Obviously, if they don't have another board wipe, they are dead. Could have Farewell. Does Farewell hit artifacts? Enchantments, creatures, graveyards, and planeswalkers? Because Strixhaven can only do artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers. I wasn't that fussed about keeping it up because if they get down. Oh, it does do artifacts and not planeswalkers! Well, rubbish. Yeah, really not happy with that. We are. There we go. We're about to have a very sad little construct. And I expect them to have lots of targeted removal. Or Mana Tithe? What do you have? So Transit Mage. Let's get the Memory Guardian. At least this will grow that and present another body. That is obviously if our construct survives. They are taking their time. If we draw a land, we may just hold up Hullbreaker Horror. Flash it in the end of their turn. River's Rebuke on our turn.
Try to burst me, if you can.
They can get rid of I'm not sure that was the right play, but... yeah. We will hold up Hullbreaker Horror. Oh, we hope they tap out because everyone can just River's Rebuke. I'd actually quite like them to just have a land and cast Catch a Mouse. Are they going to Field of Ruin and have Balam Garden? Enters, yeah, untapped. Oh, that's annoying.
We can win this together.
What do they have in hand?
Nobody knows Dominaria's shadows like me.
Good.
You won't be outsmarting me.
Now, obviously, they could have Swords of Plowshare, but there was no stick, so they don't. And we get in for lethal. Ooh, that was a long and not particularly close game, but that farewell set us back by quite a bit. We go first. One land. I suppose we could Lorien Revealed, but I mean, this isn't much better, but we can mana drain if we need to. And we will. Let's stop and ramp in. And we can Frogmite. Bit annoying, but not the end of the world. Yeah, they're stuck on lands. We will fetch a Memory Guardian. Not very nice. Winter Moon doesn't do a whole lot. I think next turn, well, we could repurpose in Bay and turn a Winter Moon into a no, never mind. Well, let's just spin it to win it. Let's put those two back and let's draw the Immortal Sun. They're not massively far away from me out of cast a tally now. They can't cast a tally next turn, so we're not going to hit a Hullbreaker Horror, which is good. Kind of annoying, but is... So we can Phyrexian Metamorph and steal their Kogler. Yeah, I think we do that. And we will fight their Kogler, because ours is bigger. And now obviously we can just hold up Disruption Protocol. And yeah, our opponent scoops. Because they're at 4, we can get them down to, well, 2. Because they need to chump our Transit Mage, well, one of our 2. And then we have Disruption Protocol up for a tally. We go first. Cavern of Souls is pretty handy here. We do need a 4th land. I'll try and get down a Mind Stone. It might get countered. But nope. Oh no. We don't have a 1-drop. Well, they've just rammed pretty successfully. On Schumann. We can hold up counter spell. Do you have something else? Of course they do. Let us get a Paradox Engine, I suppose. We will pay the 1. Hit him for 6. They get down to Fairy and bounce our token. All that. And we can get down Terra, uncounterable. Let's wait until next turn. This is great fun. That does turn off to Fairy. Unless they have something for it. You can draw a card. That's legendary. Tap the spell bomb. Tap the chromatic sphere. Tap the immortal sun. And you can be a copy of that. And do they have another board wipe? Was it just... Problem is, was it called Construct or Phyrexian Metamorph? We will pay. Tap that. And yeah, because we can just cast the spell for free, untap everything with Paradox Engine, and go off like that.